Today we have an absolute treat of a battle. We are using a mod for Total War Shogun 2 that is inspired by the Carlist Wars. These are a series of Spanish civil wars that were fought during the 19th century, starting from 1833 all the way to 1876. There were 3 wars, and it was a struggle between tradition versus secularism. So you kind of have the monarch taking on kind of progressive or liberal a faction, and it really was a battle between the old and the new, kind of foreshadowing the civil war to come that would happen in the 20th century, where you have the nationalists taking on the republic. Or the Republicans. Again, I don't know much about these series of wars, which is exciting because I get to learn something new, but we'll learn as we go. Maybe we'll have more battles in the future, maybe do some historical battles, a lot of fun stuff. Anyways, in today's battle, we have a fight that is near a railroad, which apparently has a working train, a moving train that goes through the battlefield, which is really cool. Now, the factions that are involved with this battle are not Spanish, but actually French. So there are other factions, of course. There were factions that were supporting both sides during these Carlist wars. On one side, we have the Bourbon monarchy. So this is a old monarchy. I think it originally formed back in the 1200s. So an ancient, okay, not ancient, but a very old, originally medieval monarchy. And they are fighting for their lives because they are taking on another French faction, which is the July monarchy. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about the July monarchy. I know it's hard to keep up with all the French revolutions and all the new systems of governments that they're just throwing out. You know, they're just throwing at the fan and seeing what sticks. But yeah, I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to say anything incorrectly about the July monarchy. I think it was formed around the 1830s, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was after. So I think this was potentially after Napoleon was exiled. They brought back the old Bourbon monarchy, and then the July monarchy was revolting, having a revolution against that monarchy. It's confusing. The French, you know, all they do is rebel and do revolution. So what are you gonna do? But yeah, it's gonna be really fun. I'm excited to see this battle. So sit back, relax. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. And let's get started with this battle. All right, guys, so here we go. The battle has begun. Now, I started the battle pretty early here so we can really check out some of the units and see how they look. Let's start with the Bourbon monarchy. Now, they have the more traditional uniforms that were worn, or at least they were inspired by the more traditional uniforms that were worn before the first French Revolution. So you're going to see much more white uniforms. They look really nice. I do like the white pants with the gentle blue coats and the gold trim. So these are the Voltigeur. They're very cool. They're like a light unit. But a lot of the units are going to be pretty similar considering they're the same people. So, you know, Grenadiers, they look cool. Red trim. Got Swiss Fusiliers. And back here, we've got some more Grenadiers up close and personal, more Swiss. And then if we check out the other army, look at this Lifeguard Grenadier. These guys look awesome. They got the gold trim. They almost look like Old Guard. But they got some trenches here, kind of giving them cover at their initial position. We do have a siege cannon. So they're bringing the big boys to the fight. Absolute crazy to bring this to a pitch battle. So we'll see if it lands any good hits on the on their enemy. And then here's more Grenadiers and stuff. So they look really cool. We got some Cav, of course, some Lancers. They look awesome. Now, I think I saw, if you look, sometimes the general will, yeah, look, they'll take out their scopes. That's so cool. They'll take out scopes. I don't know if that's a Fall of the Samurai thing. It looks awesome. It looks really cool. Got Grenadier Cheval. Let's go. All right, so let's go to the July monarchy. And let's check out their uniforms. So they've got the red pants, blue coat combo. Here's some skirmishers ready to hold the first initial, you know, position. Look at these guys are so flashy. You got the Legionnaire, Grenadier. You have more grenadiers. They just look so good. It's a bit much. It's a little, hey, look at me kind of uniform, but it does look nice. It does look nice. And of course you got the Zouave. They look cool with the Ottoman influence there. Zouave band, or Zouave, not Zouave, Zouave. So really cool stuff right there. I don't know. I like it. I like uniforms. This is the era of uniforms. So you got to spend some time checking them out. Artillery is now shelling the advance of the July Monarchy. Grenadiers, Voltigeur, Legionnaire. A nice, look at this. Just a nice row of troops marching into position. And over on this side, it looks like this is where the fight is going to probably start off here. Holding this choke point, you've got some skirmishers with some flint guns. They also have on the far flank a couple units of lancers. So look at these. Lancer Dolion? Is that how you pronounce it? Lancers of Orleans, if we're going to say it like an American, I suppose. Nolans. New Orleans. Anyways, so we got artillery set up on this hill. So 6-pounder horse field artillery. So a little bit smaller. Oh. Yeah, we got a little bit of an artillery battle. So the July Monarch positioning their artillery in the center of their forces. I think they're mostly focusing on taking out the Bourbon Monarchy's artillery. And yeah, both sides are just focusing their artillery at each other. Though I think the siege artillery is going for this infantry that are stationed right here. Now, the train does function. So we will see it kind of zoom past on the railroad. It doesn't hit any of the troops, unfortunately. That would be hilarious if it actually like did damage to troops if they're on the railroad. You'd actually have to like really look out for that. But unfortunately, it just kind of flies right through them. So, you know, but it's still cool to have a train go through the map. I don't know. It's just a nice little detail. All right. It looks like we might get our first gunfire here. The chasseur on foot. Let's see. They're going to go. Oh, look at the silhouettes of them on the hill. Oh, let's see who's going to shoot first. It looks like, can they reach from this distance? Okay, they're like inching into position. Ah, there it is. The Bourbon Monarchy gets the first shot. The shot heard around France, I suppose. And now the French are kind of freaking out. They're going to try to reform. Or when I say French, I mean July Monarchy. Shot. That was unfortunate. I don't know why they repositioned like that. They kind of clumped up and made it easier for the July Monarchy to take out their chasseur of foot. And I love how the flag becomes tattered when they start to lose units or men in their unit. It looks really cool. Also, the gun effect and the smoke effect, a little bit more on the cartoonish side. You know, compared to other historical mods. Let's see if we can get another flash. Oh, good artillery. It's actually causing the skirmishers to break for the July Monarchy. Yeah, you see how the smoke is a little less realistic, but it's okay. Like I kind of like the style. It's nice. It's something different. Yeah, there it is again. Nice shot. Shoot them in the back. These guys call retreat because the artillery is just too much for them. And dang, they were playing some beats right there. They kept on playing regardless of gunfire and artillery shots. So that was the first engagement of the battle. It's really at this stage of the battle, both sides are just kind of dipping their toes in the water, seeing the strengths and weaknesses of each army and kind of coming up with their attack plan of what they're going to do. Now, July Monarchy, oh, they've got some heavy cav over here. These are the cuirassiers. I never know how to pronounce this name correctly. I just go with heavily armored cav. All right, this is some melee cav. They're going to get in the thick of it. So we'll see them in action, I'm sure, soon. We'll see. But yeah, they are. Oh, there's the train. Hold on. Hold that thought. There's the train. Look at it. It'd be cool if smoke comes out of it. and it made a sound. It just doesn't make a sound, but it's cool. I mean, come on, a moving train that goes through the map. You don't see that every day. All right, so the French over here, the July monarchy, they're actually pushing on the other side of the fight. So we got some Legionnaire Grenadier. They're making a move. We do have some Cav kind of checking in on what they're doing. This is the cuirassiers of the Bourbon monarchy. So I don't think they're going to stay there for too long. And then we actually have a big push of infantry coming to this side. So I think what they might be doing is they're trying to cut off this army, and they might close in with this force here. Yeah, they currently are closing in. These are the elites right here, Lifeguard Grenadier. So they're going with like a flanking maneuver here, and it's kind of pushing the French to fight on a two-front war, or the July monarchy. Sorry, when I say the French, I just say the July monarchy because they are closer to what modern France is. So anyways, I'll try to clarify in the future. The Bourbon monarchy is flanking the July monarchy. Back over this way, we do have a Cav unit. Looks like they're going for an attack. Oh! Was that friendly? I think that was some friendly artillery that just ripped through them. Anyways, they're going to commit regardless of the friendly fire. And look at this charge. I also like in this mod that they figured out the sound voices. So like in the other Pike and Shot mod, they're speaking Japanese, and it kind of pulls you out of the fight. But to see this Cav, or to hear the units speaking French, that's really cool. I really appreciate that small detail. There we go. They're just pinballing around, taking out the artillery. Oh, there's the train. Choo choo. Can you imagine being the conductor or whatever that train and just being like, oh my gosh, you're like, we got to get out of here, man. There's a battle going on. But yeah, heavy Cav going in, crushing this artillery. Actually, no. Artillery might survive. But they're going to run through. And what are the Bourbon monarchy French doing? Like, they're just kind of letting this Cav kind of maneuver and just hit random units as they run by. I mean, it's really cool, but it looks cool. Now they're hitting this unit of Fusiliers. Are they going to break this? Look at it. They just broke that line unit. Oh, but it's at a cost. The Cav is finally breaking from the fight. I mean, about time. They went through like half the Bourbon monarchy's army. And then let's go back over this way because things are about to pick up. We're going to have a big line battle, and now we have a massive line of the Bourbon French charging forward with the Life Grenadiers. I'm excited to see these guys in action because this is the cream of the crop for the Bourbon army. They also have some Grenadier Swiss here as well. They look great. And plus they got a little bit of a hill that they could use. And that might be why the July French are falling back, because they don't want them to use that hill against them. So also they're kind of just reorganizing, preparing for this big push. Big time push. All right, so now the massive Cav force, and even the Cav unit that was pinballing around, still intact, still ready to fight. And they have pushed all the way on the extreme flank, looking for some sort of maneuver. Now the Bourbon French, they have a couple units of Cav, but this is going to be nothing for if they actually try to hold here. And oh boy. Yeah, okay. Run! Yeah, we got a big, hold that thought. They got a big bayonet charge that did not pan out for the Bourbon French, but they're going to charge in some Cav support to try to overwhelm the July French, the July monarchy, which is a goofy name. They're just like, July. But yeah, really aggressive play by the Bourbon monarchy, and they are trying to rip apart this July infantry. Look at this. Oh, some artillery's hitting nearby. They are slicing and dicing.
Toutes les unités, fixez vos baguettes, formez la poudre, éliminez-les du champ de bataille.
Wow, that actually might pan out for Bourbon if they can do enough damage there. Oh, let's go back over to this side. So that at the same time, the July French have made their strike, and that it's a strike of Cav, and we have the Bourbon Cav trying to maintain the lines. They gotta send some infantry support here. Just turn these guys to fire at the Cav, but maybe they're just counting. Oh, there we go. They've got some infantry in the mix. Like, throw them in because they are desperately gonna need the help. Now, these are the cuirassiers, so they're heavy infantry. They should be able to do okay in prolonged engagement with the Lancers, but unfortunately, July has also sent in some heavy melee cav of their own. And now we got some cav that is not paying attention. Grenadier Cheval, they are going to get charged. That is tragic. They must be so focused on the other front of the battle. I think he might be the player that is orchestrating this aggressive infantry strike. So he needs to act quickly here, which finally he does. He forms square formation to support his cav, and it does look like this is gonna it might be a battle that just kind of equals out. Both sides losing a lot of units. It doesn't really lead to anything like devastating for the Bourbon French, but they did lose a lot of cav, but so did the July Monarchy. And now they're charging the square formation, which I would not advise. And that, of course, is going to cause the cav to break. Ooh. Damn, that's nice. Look at that. Even the fighting feels Western. It doesn't feel too, Japanese, like samurai-y. You know what I mean? So now we've got infantry coming to reinforce the area that we just saw that had a huge melee engagement. I love this too. The flag here just left behind. They got a bold line of 19 men standing against an entire army. They're still down to 19. They're still holding. This is wow. There we go. Now they're starting to drop. They're starting to break. So we got a big line battle unraveling on this side, and this is kind of the moment we've been waiting for, to see massive lines clash and exchange gunfire. This is what we live for in these types of games, in these eras. And now we got Cav closing in to quickly finish off this small unit of 19. And look at, they're still at 19. Finally, they're losing troops to this Cav charge. They just need a break and get out of there. Now it appears that the Bourbon Monarchy might be making a push for this this July Monarchy force that is kind of in this like delta area. I don't know, what would you call this little land mass that is cut by two rivers? I guess it wouldn't be like a delta. Anyways, let's go back this way. We got another bold move, and it crashed. All right, well, my game crashed, so let's try this charge one more time. So yeah, the Bourbon French are charging against a force of overwhelming numbers. Now, these infantry units are grenadier, but I don't think they have enough to win this. They attempt to charge in some Lancers as well, but a great move by the July Monarchy to form square formation, and they're even sending in cav of their own to support. So yeah, this bold move by the Bourbon Monarchy just doesn't seem like it's gonna pan out, and it seems kind of reckless. I think he should have just played defensive on this side and focused his attention maybe more on this front, which is where he has more of their troops, more of, line infantry, and they're actually going toe-to-toe pretty well against the July Monarchy. Over at the river crossing, there's a lot of forces pursuing a big force of voltigeur that are breaking from, and getting hit with artillery. And they're even sending over some units to cut off the retreat. Yeah, they're cutting off the retreat, making sure they don't return to the battlefield. And this is actually pretty promising for the Bourbon French, but they've got to be careful because there is a line of troops ready to gun them down, so they don't want to get too close. They could even use this hill as cover, but it seems like they're just going to keep on pushing here and exposing their flank to the July Monarch, who is just opening fire on them as we speak. Oh, not good. Not good. They're going to try to form up and confront them. Oh, but they're getting flanked. They didn't take care of the skirmishers. So the flank push, a desperate push by those French skirmishers. And I think let's see, the skirmishers are trying to get a position on the other side of the battlefield. And now, oh my gosh, what is happening here? Utter chaos. As at this point of the battle, it's looking more and more likely that the July Monarch is going to take this fight. Let's see, they form square against that cab charge. Yeah, so we've had some pretty... the train! Okay, that's right. Doesn't hit anybody. But yeah, the Bourbon monarchy seems like they went with a very bold strategy of aggressive play. And here we go. We got a cav unit that's unaware that they're in range of these guns here. So they're just going to get shot. The units for Bourbon monarchy, they're starting to break. We even have a general staff that's charged in to try to give their men extra morale. Over on the far flank, we've got the last unit, the Swiss, Fusilier Swiss. This is like the last unit for Bourbon monarchy on the left flank, and they are about to feel the wrath of some Fusiliers who are just jamming out right now, closing in, and they're going to hit them from multiple angles. So this is a desperate last stand for the Fusiliers. A desperate last stand. Here we go. More and more fights unwinding here. The Legionnaire popping shots, and I think at this point all they really have to do is hold their ground, and they got this one. There's a little bit of a push here. Look at this, a little bit of melee charge action. But the July monarchy, all they have to do is just kind of, like I said, hold their ground, maintain their position, and just use their numbers. Oh man, what a chaos. A chaotic struggle by the railroad, and massive amounts of Swiss soldiers are beginning to break as they realize, yeah, this battle is most likely lost. Look at the balance of power. It's in favor of the July monarchy heavily. We got another bayonet charge. This just feels like a desperate attempt from the Bourbon monarchy to do as much damage as possible. Nice. And now the July monarchy is flanking around with all their extra troops, and they should be able to take care of these forces no problem. So yeah, this battlefield made it difficult because of all the terrain and the water and the different points of entry and everything. It made it awkward where you had to get a little creative with the formation of your troops. Now we got the final charge here. Yeah, the glorious victory. Oh, that was kind of cool how they broke formation and counter charge. That was awesome. And there we go. They cleaned up those forces. And really all that's left at this point of the battle are a couple units of artillery pieces. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is just fast forward the battle and get to the end results so we can see how these units performed on the battlefield. All right, well, this is a little awkward. The battle just abruptly ended. There's no there's no end results, which tells me that there might have been a little issue with my mod. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, we'll figure it out. It feels like the battle played out normally. It just maybe this is normal for the mod to not show any end results. But yeah, I do apologize about that, guys. I kind of, teased you about an end result, and there's no end results. So, yeah, it was a pretty dominating display by the July monarchy as they just outgunned their opponent, outpositioned them, and there were some gutsy charges by the Bourbon monarchy. So that's going to conclude this one, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this fight. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I will be seeing you next time on the battlefield.